Alright, so welcome all the NEET aspirants. A very warm welcome to all of you in this live session. And in this session, we shall be talking about that what shall be our strategy for remaining days to the NEET examination. Okay, so guys, I am Dr. Shankar Sir, your very own physics educator, and in this session, we'll be discussing that what shall be our approach towards the study in the last 150 days that are nearly left with us. Okay, so guys, in this session you can also, this is why I came live, so I could have this video recorded mode and I could have published on the channel, but instead of it I came live, so because I want to interact with you guys. Okay, that how your preparation is going, what is your condition of your preparation, and you can ask me anything that is related to your NEET preparation. Okay, so now we know that almost 150 is a very good evening to the live students. Hello, welcome to the session. Those who are live can respond to me that whether I am perfectly visible and audible to you or not. Yeah. Okay. Right, guys. So now see. Now see. So we are left with nearly 150 days, right? We are left with nearly 150 days. And see, when we are studying, so first question is that need your attention, that sir, how much we shall study a day from now onwards? So how much we shall study a day? So the live students, you can tell me that how much you are studying these days. Okay, now the first thing, see, I'll tell you some basic thing. Okay, and if you follow these things, definitely it is going to be very helpful for you in my experience. Okay, now the first thing I want to tell you is that you must at least study 11 to 13 hours a day. Okay, from see, whatever time is left, you must, first thing you must have to do, that you must study 11 to 13 hours a day. Now you tell me, are we doing this or not, the live students? Okay, so how we are going to study 11 to 13 hours a day? So when I say 11 to 13 hours a day, it basically includes your coaching time. It basically includes your coaching. Just give me a moment. There is some fluctuation. I'll just come back. Yeah, yeah. So now please understand this. So at least you have to study every day 11 to 13 hours, including the time you are devoting in watching the lecture, whether you are doing it from YouTube, whether you are doing it from our channel, whether you are doing it from offline mode. Okay. So let's say that you are attending some 4 5 hours a day of lectures, right? So, including that, you must study 11 to 13 hours a day, okay, without fail, okay, without fail, right? Now, please tell me, the live students who are here attending the session, can you tell me that are you following this thing or not, first of all? See, this is very, very basic, because see, how many days are left? Nearly 150 days are left. So when 150 days are left, if you are not doing this, so you have to start today and start for studying 11 to 13 hours. Right? Now, in this duration, this includes your lectures also. Okay? This includes your lectures. Okay? Lectures. Okay? Plus self-study. That self-study, I mean here, that the time you are devoting to your studies after the attendance, after you attend the lecture. Okay. Now, how you are going to break this time? I don't think so. You must do that. Okay. Because see, the level of the examination is not that high, and also see, you are going to see for the exam perspective. What I believe always from the exam perspective. Something is, I don't think it is. No, it is okay. Yeah. So from the exam perspective, no. So whenever you are seeing, so see, so many things are there. Okay, you have to study a lot of topics. Now, when you are studying a lot of topic, it is not only about studying; it is also about revision and recalling. Okay, this is what I believe. So, see, the things which you are studying now, if you are not able to revise them properly and if you are not able to recall them when you are solving the question, they are of no use. Okay, do you agree? So, when we are going to such standard books, what happens that we gain knowledge, okay, but are we able to sustain it? That is questionable. Are you getting my point? So, I have seen many brilliant students when they are doing such things, it affects adversely over their study because ultimately you have to get the right rank. Okay, okay. So for this time onward, I am not suggesting that you use such books. NCRT is suffice. Okay, for all the NEET aspirants with full responsibility, I am suggesting you this as a teacher, as a faculty. Okay, NCRT is suffice. Other than the NCRT, if you want to give time, you can give in question practice. I am going to tell you that. Now I want to ask you this. Okay, so we are watching the lectures, and after the lectures, we are giving some time to revise whatever we have learned, maybe on that very day, on the other day. Okay. Now you tell me one thing. You tell me one thing. Do you agree to this? Like in the duration of the NEET examination, we almost have to read 10,000 words. Hmm? See, this is purely logic. I am talking of the logic. You can counter me if you want. So at least you have to study 10, you have to read 10,000 words in the examination. Do you agree to it? So you do the calculation. How many questions we are having in the NEET examination? You guys tell me, right? How many questions are there in the NEET examination? So sir, how many questions are there? Please tell me. The live students, how many questions are there? Sir, there are 180 questions that we have to do. 180 questions that we have to do. Agree? And to do 180 questions, we have 200 questions, out of which 20 we can have a choice in, isn't it? So we have to study 200 questions. We have to study 200 questions. We have to read 200 questions at least in the examination. Do you agree? Now each question will obviously be having some 30-40 words for the bare minimum, isn't it? So see, now, if you see your reading speed, this is basic logic. So when you are reading a question, okay, not only you have to read it, you have to understand it. Okay. While reading, you must understand it. So see, these basic points nobody is focusing about. When we are revising, when we are practicing question, what we do, we very like with like all the relaxedness we read the question. Okay, with all the relaxedness. Okay, we are reading a question like oh very like ekdam aram se. Okay, but see in the examination you won't have this thing over there. You won't have this much liberty. You can't enjoy this in the examination. See, we have to prepare the examination in a way every day we are giving one examination. Are you getting my point? Now, in the examination, along with reading the question, you must be habitual to understand that question as well. Right from the reading, you are understanding the question. Okay. Now, sir, how this is going to happen? Okay. Now, this is going to happen with only one thing. Okay. There is no other bypass, and this is with everyone. It is not like you are facing this difficulty, other aspirants are not facing this difficulty. Every aspirant is facing this difficulty. Okay, so this will only happen, guys, only happen when you are practicing. Okay, you are practicing the question. Okay, now I want to ask you this, guys. In the NEET examination, what is asked? Questions are asked or theory is asked, right? What is asked in the examination? So exam में क्या पूछेगा? What they are going to ask you in the examination? Are they going to ask you the questions or are they going to ask you the theory? Is it some sort of a viva or something like that? No, sir, it is not like that. They are going to ask you the questions. Okay, they are going to ask you the question. Now, to solve the questions, you require a certain amount of theory. You require a certain amount of theory. Now, after you attend the lectures, you cover some sort of a theory. So, whatever you are reading in the lecture, I consider that to be in a theory part, right? Like, for example, if you are learning from me when I am teaching, I am solving some questions during the session. That is not the questions I am talking about. That is the part of theory for you, because whatever question a teacher is doing in the class, they are helping you to try to build the concept that is taught in the class. Okay, the purpose of the questions that any teacher is doing in the class is not comes under the question practice. Okay, now when you are reading some lecture, your concepts are developing, your theory are developing, but they are not going to ask you the concept and theory in the question. They are in the examination, they are going to ask you the questions in the examination. Now this theory and the concept that you have learned must reflect while you solve the question. Okay, in time duration, the time is also very important. You have to take care of the time also. Okay, now I want to ask you, like, since they are asking the questions in the examination, not theory, so if you are studying 6 hours a day, so 6 hours I am considering that you are spending in the lectures a day. Okay, so preparing yourself, right? So, sir, can't we do the self study? That is also many students ask. So definitely you can, but the only problem is, see, what is the role of a teacher in a aspirants or a NEET student or any competitive exam student life? We are not going to give the examination. If any teacher is saying, I'm telling you this, if any teacher is saying like, I am 90%, I give you 90% guarantee, 100% guarantee. Many coachings I have seen in offline mode, they are writing this thing, that 100% guaranteed selection. This is not going to happen. This is just like I scam. Okay? Nobody can get you selected in any competitive examination other than you, right? Our teacher role in a student preparation is nearly 25 to 40%. Okay, and the major role that we play here. So if you read a book, okay, we also have come from reading the book. It is not that we have invented the physics. I teach physics. I am just an interpreter. Physics is like made from the people who are very brilliant. And now those brilliance we are just trying to, we have studied it first before you, I may say, and we are trying to interpret it in the easiest way possible according to our wisdom. Now this helps you to save the time, because see, any chapter you pick, like for example, I just have completed the vector. So today's session I have completed the one shot vector session. So if that vector you want to read to that depth from the books, okay, from the books, okay, it is going to take a lot of time. You are going to miss some key points. You are not going to get it recalled, right? So it is a fact, like you must have seen a very beautiful movie, Drishyam. So there in that movie, what is the conclusion? So they say that, so whatever we are watching, whatever we are reading, whatever we are listening, that is going to be in our mind for a longer duration rather than what we read. This is the scientific fact. Okay. So when you are attending a lecture, you are in a way saving your time from building concept through the books or through the written content. Are you getting my point? Like for example, I tell you, so if you, when you were a child, now these days this happens or not, like in my time, our grandfather, grandmother used to tell the stories. Okay. So that story I still can memorize, I still can recall. because that enters deep in our mind. So when a teacher is saying something and you're listening to him very carefully, then what happens that it goes deep in your mind and it makes some space, that content makes some space in your mind. Are you getting my point? Now when you study 6 hours in lectures you are giving, so you are building your concept, you are building your theory. Now this I'll tell you, if you want to revise a 6 hour lecture and if you have given due attention to it, and you tell me if this is happening with you or not, you can revise the whole lecture within an hour. Okay, so what my suggestion to this is, so when you are studying yourself, when you are practicing questions, so nearly 6 hours you are giving yourself, you are not watching any lecture, you are preparing yourself. Now in this 6 hours, out of this only 2 hours you need to give to theory. Theory, I mean the concept, everything, laws. If you are reading physics, if you are reading biology, you whatever is being taught. Okay, so you are just revising, you are referring to your short notes, the notes given by the coaching, the notes you have prepared yourself. So within 2 hours you must do that, and 4 hours you must give to the practice of question. Okay, okay, 4 hours questions, right? Daily you have to give. See, there is no point in building up a theory. Sir, I have a great concept. Okay, I can teach or I can tell if anybody. So see, many students sometimes they start following their ego also, right? What I mean by here. So see, I'll go to school, right? I have studied this topic. Now I am going to show off my students, my friends, my fellow people. They start, like I have seen this. See, school teachers are there. So a school teacher is teaching some concept. You have come by teaching from the coaching institute, and then you start interfering. You are start showing off that how much you know in this particular topic. Oh, sir, you have solved this question through this analytical way. I can do it in 1 minute. Okay, there is no use of it. I tell you, there is no use of it. Always you can tell your friends that whatever. But see, to do this, sometimes what we do, we are putting extra efforts in a given particular topic, right? Okay, so we don't have to do that, right? Our purpose first shall be very clear. You must have a clear vision in your mind that in 2024 you are going to enter into AIMS, you are going to crack the NEET examination. So whatever you are doing in the name of studying, right, must go in that direction, right? Sir, I am sitting every day 11 hours a day, but what is the output? Nothing. There is no use of it. Are you getting my point? So every day, what my suggestion is, you can always choose to. You see, right path is the path that you find according to yourself. These are all the advices that you need to give a thought. And if you find it like, okay, it works for me, I feel that this happens with me also, then you can follow it. Otherwise, you can manipulate it, right? There is no strategy. Any strategy that is followed by others may or may not work for you. Okay, so it may or may not work for you, or it may work with some manipulation, some changes to that strategy. What we do, sir, we watch a strategy video on YouTube. This is also a strategy video. But what we do, sir, we watch a strategy video. We have seen the strategy. Okay, this topper, he's all India rank 1, he's all India rank 10. Now we are making this video. Okay, sir, how to study physics in half an hour, right? I have seen videos like this. Okay, half an hour physics. Are this is not going to work for you. Yeah, this is not going to work for you. Okay, whatever subject, whatever time they require, you have to give it. When you have less time, you have to give more time a day. Okay, so when you are doing this, you will be improving day by day. How you are improving day by day? One chapter is prepared, second chapter is prepared, third chapter is prepared. Like for physics, for example, physics, if I speak of, so why you are speaking of physics, I am a faculty of physics now. That is why I always take examples of physics. So according to the NEET, there are 20 units. Okay, now you tick mark. Okay, this unit is prepared, revised, questions are practiced. Okay, now how many questions you need to practice for the NEET examination? So according to me, including all three subjects, you need to at least practice 35,000 to 40,000 questions. Are you kidding us? No, this is not that big deal. See, many 35,000 to 40,000 questions in any preparation, you need to solve this much question. at least, including everything, including the mock test, NCRT questions, okay, previous year questions, okay. Because see, when you are solving this question, see, theory we have read, theory we have read, right? Like it's like driving the car, okay. So theoretically, I know this is clutch, this is brake, this is accelerator, okay, okay. This is how we move the steering. Theoretically, we know, right? But unless you drive it on the road, I don't know if you are knowing how to drive right now, or definitely you are going to know in later duration. So you see, unless you practice it, anything, any theoretical knowledge, unless you practice it, you cannot say that you are having good information on it. Okay, so you need to implement whatever theoretical understanding you are having in any particular chapter, in any particular subject, in any particular topic, in the form of questions, right? Also, I'll suggest something to you. Now, many students, what they do, okay, so this is the strategy that I believe works to a lot. Now, what they do, see, normally what they do, sir, I have studied a chapter. Let's suppose, sir, I have studied motion in 1D. Okay, for example, I have studied motion in 1D. Now, what I am going to do, so I have just studied, just like from last 2.5 hours, I have been studying motion in 1D. And after studying motion in 1D, I just started solving the PYQs of motion in 1D. I started giving test series related to this topic, mock test, everything, NCRT, every question we are going to do motion in 1D. Now, in our mind, what happened? Oh, I have solved all the question of motion in 1D. Okay, but important is that whatever you have read today, are you going to recall it in the later time? Okay, now how you are going to know it? So, what my suggestion is, like for example, you have studied motion in 1D. When you study, you have solved the questions and whatever content you have got during the lecture of a teacher. And the teacher selection is also very important. Okay, select your teacher wisely. Okay, so when you selected, let's suppose you have selected a good teacher. Okay, now the good teacher, you have your notes, you have made your notes. So whatever is there in your notes, you have studied. Whatever questions are there in your notes, okay, that is the part of theory. Remember. Okay, so you have studied those, you have attempted those. Now you have done motion in 1D. Now always I suggest that whenever you are done with one chapter of physics, always pick the chapter from the other subject. Okay, don't read in a go. Many teachers will not agree to my point, but what I think, see, it is very important, because see, when you are going to into the NEET examination, you require to train your mind to think, to switch between the subjects during the time of question solving. Okay, okay. So when you are done with this chapter, now you pick a chapter of chemistry, then you pick a chapter of biology or whatever it is. So you mix the content. Okay. Now 1D question, motion in 1D. Let's suppose today is 5th of November. You have studied this chapter today. Now if you are going to do the questions just after 15-20 minutes, you have revised this topic. So all the formulas you have just studied. This is simple logic. All the formulas you have just studied, you are definitely going to do the questions of them. Okay, the point is that you have studied the motion in 1D today. You are going to, if you are solving a question of this chapter after 10 days, are you going to recall the concept? Are you going to recall the formula? If this happens, if this is happening, you are going into the right track. Okay, because see, the NEET examination is on what date? So the NEET examination is on 5th May. Okay, now will you be able to revise? Just tell me logically, will you be able to revise each and everything on 4th May, or 2 hours, 3 hours before you are going to give your examination? So we'll make the show. It is impossible. You will not be able to revise everything on 4th May or 3rd May. So whatever you have revised, let's suppose on 25th April, it must have a recall value, or you must be able to recall it in your NEET examination on the 5th of May. Are you getting my point? Okay. So now this way also you must be train your mind. Okay, don't do these things that we have studied this chapter just now. We are going to solve the questions of the chapter just now. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay, this is one advice. Now the second advice is that's from where we'll get 35 to 40,000 questions. So this is very easy. Okay, see, choose always be thirsty of questions. Okay, always be thirsty of questions. What I mean is, you must always look out for whatever source you are getting question from. Whatever source you are getting question from. Are you getting my point? It may be PYQ. It can be. It can be your PYQ. Okay. It can be. So it must be actually combination of previous year questions. So previous year question is a must to do. Okay, it is a must to do, right? And I am talking about that. I am referring to the students. This session is for the students who are very serious about the NEET examination and want to score more than 65, 650. Okay, more than 650, right? This is not for the students who are like settled for 400, 500. 400, 500 you can get if you do the PYQs only. 400, 350, 400 you will be able to get with this only. But if you want to exceed a certain mark, if you want to get into a great medical college, so PYQ. Okay. Secondly, mock test. Okay, so PYQ is a must to do, and mock test is an addition to it. Okay, again, don't do this thing. See, you have to mix up. It must be mixed up thing, right? Like for example, sir, we have done the PYQ of motion in 1D. Now, just now we are going to give the mock test. This doesn't work for you. It is not going to yield the good result. You will be losing the quantum of the questions, and you won't get the feel out of it. So, like for example, you have studied motion in 1D. Now, after 5 days, 6 days, make a track of it. Okay, write it down somewhere that today we have studied this topic. Okay, wonderful. Now you do PYQ. Let's suppose you have studied this motion in 1D 5 on 5th of November. Then you do PYQs on some, let's say, 12th of November, and then you give the mock test nearly 15, 16 of November, or let's say 20 of November, right? Okay, so this way within a span. So see, a topic which is studied on 5th of November and you are solving the question 20 days after it. So you will be able to realize that which concepts you are not good at, which concept you are able to recall when you see a question of it, what concept, what formula you are going to recall when you see a question of it, okay, and what formulas you are not able to recall. So whatever formula you are not able to recall, see, I tell you, I have this tendency. I personally have this tendency. So sometimes I forget the name of some people. Okay. Now I have seen that if a person name I have forgotten, I keep forgetting his name again and again. See, this is the tendency of mine, right? You will see that this thing we are able to grab easily. This thing we are not able to grab easily, not able to recall easily. Are you getting my point? So see, whatever formula you have, lost, it is lost in your mind on the later time. Okay, then what you can do, you can see that formula. You can like, okay, this okay. You can give some pressure on your mind to memorize that formula. Then it will be able, you will be able to retain it for more, right? Also understood? Now, now I want to tell you something. See, you will keep forgetting. Okay, see, this is the tendency of the mind. We will keep forgetting. You will have to do this cycle again. Okay, okay, study, revise, questions. Study, revise, questions. Okay, okay. So revision and question must go side by side in a loop. Okay, and when you forget something, so having some stress is also important. If you are completely stress free, that means you are not preparing in the right way. Don't be completely stress free. Have some stress. Sometimes stress is important also. Are you getting my point? So you must have some stress in your mind, right? I have to. All see, stress at times are important, but don't have the stress which is beyond your capability to manage. So one more advice I want to give. So stress is also important, Okay, I'm not talking about the stress we read in the physics, the stress we have in our mind. So to some extent, the stress is important, but you have to keep it in check. Keep it in check. Sir, how we are going to keep it in check? So see, sometimes if you are feeling too depressed, right? Sometimes it happens like we forget things. So we think, okay, we have studied this chapter, now this is gone completely. We are not able to recall anything. So this happens to everyone. Okay, take a break, take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, take a walk or something, and then again start yourself. Now to keep in the stress in check, so I'll have to give few advices here, which is very important. First of all, eat wisely. Okay. See, whatever you are eating has a impact of energy in you. We are reading the thermodynamics now. So whatever you are eating is have some sort of energy. So if you are eating too much of junk food, if you are eating something which is negative energy, how sir any food can have the negative energy? So you eat the junk food, you are not having the digestion properly. Okay, you are not able to move, you are feeling sleepy. This is what I mean by negative energy. Okay, after the NEET examination is over, just take yourself to any place and eat whatever junk you want. But till then, see, you have to keep a check on it. And it is also not like I'm saying, sir, okay, sir, I see this noodle, sorry, I crave for it and don't eat it. I think when you are craving, go and eat. But every day, like you are studying and you are having the noodle side by side, eating some chips side by side, this is going to have yeah, adverse effect on you. Okay, so eat wisely and see, give at least 15 to 20 minutes to some physical activity. Okay, physical activity. Okay, what can be your physical activity? You can choose to walk. You can choose to go jog or something. So this is very important. Why this is important? Because it will keep a check of your stress. Okay. Okay. Secondly, I wanted to say exercise. Okay. So every day, so it must be a part of. So you give 15 to 20 minutes to this exercise also. Okay. So this must be the part of your steady routine. Okay. So we make the timetable now. We make the routine. So you must exercise. You must make this routine of yourself. That's at least 15-20 minutes we have to give exercise because it is boost your aura. It is cleaning up your mind. So when you are jogging, you are taking up the breath. So breath is very important. Okay, you are going to become the doctor. I am an engineer. You will be one day able to know these things better than me. Okay, but controlling the breath when you are walking, you are taking the breath, you are inhaling, you are exhaling. So this is some sort of having it has some energy, and it just cleans up your mind. It gives you some energy. It gives you to it gives you the order to study well. Are you getting my point? See, because the worst condition I have seen in students, they are sitting 10 days, but their output is equivalent to someone who is studying for 6 hours and having the same output as you are getting after 10 hours, right? This only happens because you are not studying with clean mind, with fresh mind. You are having so many things in your mind going right at that time. You are using your mobile. You are worrying about the notification on your social media. Okay, you are thinking, oh, my friend, what he's going to do, what will happen in the school next day, right? All this thing must not be in your mind during the time you are studying. So saying it is very easy, right? So you are saying it, we already know it, everyone know it. Okay, but implementing is difficult. That is why teachers keep saying this thing. Okay, teachers keep saying these things. Okay, why they are saying this thing? Okay, so we already know it, so we want to emphasize on it, right? That you do this thing, this is going to be a really helpful thing. Because see, when you are studying, let's say 10 hours a day, and after 10 hours you are sitting 10 hours, you are giving your time also, you are sitting 12 hours, you are giving your time also, but at the end of it you feel that's a this doesn't work for me, I didn't get the output out of it. Okay, so this will demotivate you, this will lower, this will have an effect on your confidence. Your confidence will be low, and once your confidence in this low, then you will be on another track. Then you have to first, if your confidence, if your self motivation is down beyond a certain level, you have to then work towards that first to come in the right track. Then after this thing will start. Okay. So for this, you have to be at a level, you have to be confident. So being confident, always be positive. Okay, like sir, always be positive. Like sir, we believe on ourselves. If others can do, we can also do. Okay, it is not some sort of a rocket science. No one from the heaven came, and only those who are coming from the heaven can crack this examination. There is nothing like that. Okay, believe on in yourself. You are definitely able to crack it if you are moving in the right direction. Okay, now, sir, sir, how to? So you said, sir, we have to do question, but from where we must do question? From where to do questions? Okay. So see, there are certain books in the market. Okay, I'll just refrain myself to taking the names of certain authors and book. Okay, because it's like conflict of interest. But see, all of us know that there are many practice books of each of the subject. Okay, so you can refer to a practice book, okay, which has multiple practice questions. Then we have previous year questions book, and also like for the subject of common subject, that is physics and chemistry, you can also refer to JEE mains question. Okay, JEE mains question to some extent, right? Not like if in any question a lot of mathematics involved, in particularly physics, you don't go for that. But this could be the sources which you can refer for your questions. Okay, so questions, if you just type like you see anything, if you write like you write practice questions of any particular chapter. Okay, let's suppose you want to write, just write, if you write practice question on geology, you will get hundreds of questions on the net, right? Itself, you don't have to spend a penny. Okay, then mock test. Okay, and remember one thing, mock test, more is less. Are you getting my point? I mean to say that whatever number of mock tests you give, that will be less only. Always have this thing in your mind. Okay, sir. Now sometimes what a student do, sir, I have taken some test series. Okay, so from where we are doing mock test, sir, we have taken the test series. Okay, sir, which test series we must take? I again, due to conflict of interest, you can. I am not going to tell you that. Okay, I am a person of Unacademy, so obviously I'll refer to Unacademy, but you keep your choices on, right? Now test series. Sir, I have spent some 1000, 1500 rupees or 500 rupees, 800 rupees on test series. Now, what is students trying to do? They, trying to save their test series. Okay, sir, first I'll complete the whole physics, then I start with the mock test. This is not going to happen ever, right? See, let it get. So you have completed 5 chapters, and you seeing a subject test which is asking whole physics. Go for it. At least you can see that out of those 5 chapters, how much you can score, how much you can find the answer. And also, sir, we are going to school also. Na? We must be learning something there from also. We are reading NCERT anyway. Okay? We are reading NCERT anyway. Now, you will be able to do some questions of those chapters also, at least some questions which you are not have learnt yet in your coaching or from your lectures. Okay, so you will get an idea of it, that how much you know beforehand, like what is your status in beforehand. Okay, okay, now, okay. So as I discussed this, so test series, don't be what we say, don't be confused in giving the test series. Mock test, more is less. More number of mock tests you get hands on, more you give, more new questions you solve, more better you will be in any given subject. Say it is physics, chemistry, or biology. Right now, one more thing, sir. How much time we must give to physics? Okay, how much time daily we must give to physics, we must give to chemistry, we must give to biology. Okay, a day. right? So see, obviously, what is the highest margin in NEET? So biology is asking the highest margin, right? Biology is asking the highest margin. So we have to solve 90 questions of biology, 90 questions of biology, okay, 45 questions of physics, and 45 questions of chemistry, right? So definitely when we are revising, we have to take care of it that we do not give 100% time to any of the subject, okay. Okay, so this is something very objective, that the maximum time. So biology, so what is, see, if you see the whole NEET syllabus, see, I don't know biology a lot. I have, asked to the biology faculty that what kind of a subject is this, and being in this field from last 10, 11 years, I know a little bit that how shall be approached. So from my experience, I can again suggest you something. Now in physics is 99% numerical thing, okay. In the part of chemistry that is physical chemistry, that is also very calculated, more or less. Tell me, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I'm not an expert in chemistry, I'm not an expert in biology, and I rather prefer not saying I'm expert in physics. I'm just, an interpreter of physics who has learned something and try to give it back to the students, right? Okay, so chemistry, biology, and physics. Now, in chemistry, there is some core theoretical, pure theoretical part that require memorization. In biology also there is some pure theoretical part that require memorization. But if you study it with some link, some practical context from a good teacher, you will be able to see a good teacher, a good source will improve your recall value. That's all. Everyone can teach. Even the books you are having, everything is written there. Okay, but when you are studying from a good teacher, it has a good recall value. Now, whole of the NEET syllabus, if I say numerical part is there and theory part is there. Now, I tell you one fact. For the first time, if something which is numerical or which is concept based, numerical based, mathematics based, when you are reading it the first time, it is going to take a lot of time. Do you agree to it? Like if you are reading a chapter of physics and if you want to understand that particular chapter completely, it is going to take a lot of time when the first time you are studying. But once you have studied it, once you have understood all the concept, it has a higher recall value and it takes less time in revision. This is what I think, this is what I have seen, this is what my experience says to me. Okay. Now, on the other hand, the theoretical part of biology and chemistry, it takes the less time in the first case, okay, but nearly it takes a lot of time in revising because see, it is complete memorization, right? I don't know any of photosynthesis. There's small things I know. Only just have a few things in my mind, right? I haven't read biology after 10th, okay. So please understand this. So now, when this theoretical thing is there, you have to do frequency. So this is the theoretical part. Okay. Okay. Theoretical. So in this thing, you can have a theoretical, and numerical. You can bifurcate it. Now in the numerical part, see what I suggest you, that theoretical part revision need more frequency. Revision frequency shall be more. Frequency means that the amount of or the number of revisions you are doing in this. Okay, so frequency is more. And see this theoretical things, okay, they have to be dragged towards the last of the months of the your preparation. Now what I mean to say, okay, so don't randomly memorize. So today I have memorized something, okay, after 2 3 days you just see it once, after 2 3 days just you see it once. Like in numerical things you can have this gap of something 7 days 8 days, but in the theoretical thing every 3 days 4 days you have to revise it. Okay, and in the last of the month, like 2 days 3 days 4 days before the examination, you have to focus more upon this theoretical thing, the one liner things. Okay, this is called this is the definition of it, this is this. Okay, this is how you have to proceed. Okay. Okay, so see, you have to, so this is like, I won't say that you give like 4 hours biology a day So you have to, every day you have to think about it. Okay, so I have revised this particular chapter last day. Okay, I can now focus more on the numerical part. Someday, okay, 2 days before I have given due time to the numerical, now I can focus more on the theory. So every day, according to the preparation that you are going to, improve upon it, right? You are going to improvise your plan daily according to it, right? Now, sir, I have, so many students are saying, so any live student, if you have any particular thing to ask to me, then you are most welcome. Okay. Now, when we say, please understand this, when we say, sir, how we shall approach the physics? See, what I have seen in physics that students are watching the lectures randomly. They don't give due time to the revision, right? Like for example, on our channel, when I am teaching physics, I have given you the basics first, na, and I have given you the basics in very detailed and very slow manner, a very continuous process manner. Jeevan, hello sir, hello, hello Jeevan, how are you doing? So, Jeevan, we are discussing here that how shall we improve, what shall be our strategy for last 150 days, and I have given some advices. Okay, so I was right now talking about that how we can approach to physics. Okay, so my advice to this is that sir, you must give some time to this basic thing, basic maths plus vectors. Okay, okay, so what happens, sir, unless we study this basic thing, because in each of the physics it is quite of a numerical type thing, so you need to frequently be using algebra, not of that extent that JEE students, our fellow students are doing, not to the extent which engineering aspirants are doing, but to some extent, algebra will be required, some basic trigonometry will be required, ratio, proportion, how to calculate the percentage, how to calculate the percentage error, differentiation, a little of differentiation, a little of integration. So whatever differentiation, integration and vectors are required to study the physics, I have given you in this channel. You can refer to it. Today I have completed the vectors in one shot also. Okay. Now, before reading the basic, before being good at the basics, you don't proceed to the physics. This is my clear advice to you. Okay. Again, you can choose to follow it or you may not be following it. Right, so why I am saying this? So see, we jump to the Newton law of motion right away. We don't know the vectors. Now, one question we are solving, we do not have any information, we do not have any knowledge of the vector. We are solving a question of law of motion. Definitely you are not being able to solve it, or you are going to solve it in a lengthy way. You will start memorizing the physics. See, this is the worst approach to study the physics. So what happens, see, so we have this tendency, because we are reading biology, chemistry, that is quite a theoretical subject. Okay, now we try to apply the same rules of studying to the physics also. We try to memorize the thing. Okay, this happens this way, this happens, this angle is this is this. If you are studying memorizing in physics, everything, some memorization is required, but if you are trying to memorize each and everything the same way we do in the biology mostly, you are going to not going to excel in the physics at all. Okay, so simple and basic advice is to, initially physics will take some time. Okay, you want to rush into things, this won't work. Once you are good in some basic concepts of math, like basic differentiation, basic integration, basic vectors, then physics on the remaining chapters you are going to be very comfortable. Okay, and see, whole chapter is completed within few concepts, right? Like for example, thermodynamics, if you understand first law, second law, thermodynamics is gone. It is okay, it will be done very simply, right? Right, nothing is going to, like for example, fluid mechanics, sir, we are learning fluid mechanics. If you are good at the basic mechanics, like how to deal with the forces, if two forces are acting this way, if something is getting lifted up, okay, the force of buoyancy, Sir Archimedes principle, all this depends. Surface tension, so we study, we are so afraid of surface tension, and it doesn't. So surface tension, you are getting all the formulas, just balancing the forces. So we see pressure, we balance forces. So if you are good at on these, and what is the basic of it? The basics of it are the basic mathematics, basic vectors. So be good in the basics. Okay, you will definitely going to excel in the physics, and there is nothing to be, stopping you to do that. Understood, beta? This is my advice to you. Now, talking about one more thing that students frequently have a doubt, so what to do with the books we are having of NCRT? Okay. Now, again, I have a advice for you. See, for biology, for chemistry, NCRT is the must. Okay, you cannot leave the NCRT. So we will study some foreign hotter biology. Arey, first study this. Okay, then read some any other book. First study NCRT. Okay, it is must. It is clearly must for chemistry and biology. Chemistry and biology. Okay, right? Please, please remember this. Okay. Now, sir, for physics, are you saying for us to leave the NCRT for physics? I'm not saying that. See, but for physics, in my experience, in my understanding, you don't have to read NCRT in physics word by word. Okay, word by word. Sir, how we can study NCRT for physics? Okay, so see, for physics particularly, my advice to you is that don't read word by word. So you start a chapter from the end of the chapter. For physics, you just go by the summary. You start reading from the summary of the chapter. Okay, in the end of the NCRT of every chapter, a summary is provided, points to remember is provided, in between points to ponder is provided. Okay, some part is written in a highlighted in the box way. All this thing you have to read. You don't have to go word by word reading. Okay, second, you may do questions from NCRT, because anyway we have to do 30 to 40,000 questions, right? So you can pick for physics. Don't read it word by word if you are reading the physics, because concept is not going to change now. Okay, so you read the summary, you go by the questions. That could be suffice according to me for the physics of NEET examination. You can do this with the NCRT. Okay, okay, right? And now talking, so we already have spoken about the test series. No matter how many test series you are going to give, the more you give, the less is that. You have to give as much as possible. Okay, okay. Now, one important question is, see, about the mock test. I want to tell you something. Okay, so see, sir, I have given a mock test. Let's suppose, so I'm just taking an example. Sir, mock test, sir, we have given. Sir, mock test we have given. Let's suppose this is the first mock test we have given ever. Okay, so the first mock test, sir, we have given, we have got 10% of the marks. Right? 10% of the. Or now, if this happens, sometimes students leave the preparation of NEET examination and they start preparing for the mock test. Please understand this. You are not going to get any prize if you get rank 1 in any mock test. Or is it that coaching has announced that if we get mock test rank 1, we are going to get some scholarship. That is a different thing. Leave it. Okay, this all, I don't want to say anything. Okay, so mock test, you are getting 10%. Okay, now we start preparing for the mock test. Right? We start preparing for the mock test. We start solving the mock test. During the mock test, we pick up a calculator. I have seen students doing this. Okay, so we are doing a mock test of physics, and to save time, so now we are using the calculator. Our bhaiya is doing engineering, so he has a scientific calculator. We are doing it. We are getting the sine value, cos value from the calculator. Don't do that. Okay, remember, you are not preparing for the mock test, but you are preparing for the NEET examination. First, have this clarity in your mind, right? Sir, we have got 10%. Oh, how we are going to approach? Sir, this is the first mock test. Every mock test, you have to improve bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. Are you getting my point? Okay. Okay, it's not that marks in the mock test is not going to interpret your performance in the final examination at this point of time, right? Like definitely when you are into April, when you are into March end, and then you are giving the mock test and you are getting 10% marks, then this is a serious concern. But right now, if you are getting 10%, 5% mark in mock test, there is nothing to be worried about. You have to focus on two things. First thing, that when you are seeing whatever topics you have read, or you have completed, you have revised, you have solved their PYQs, everything. When you see a question of it in the mock test, are you able to attempt it? First question, you need to answer yourself. If you are attempting it, are you reaching to the right solution of it? Okay, second question. And the third question, are we doing it in least possible time? These three things you have to focus about. The question, the topics you haven't studied yet, definitely you will not be able to solve their question, or you may be able to solve their question, but you might be taking too much of time. Okay, so on this thing, three things you have to work upon. Sometimes in like subjects like physics, when we see a question, we are not able to recognize whether this question is from Newton's law, or whether it's a question from fluid, whether it is a question of solid mechanics, right? Okay, so this is why I said that whether you are able to attempt the question, that is the first thing that you have to focus about. You are able to realize that this question is from this part of this subject, right? Sometimes we are not able to realize that this question is from this part. We are not able to identify that this question is asked from which part of the subject. Okay, because this is the first step to solve a question. So when we understood that this is from this part, see, your mind works. Okay, so this is the question of, oh, this is the question of thermodynamics. Oh, 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 oh. If this is the question of thermodynamics, let's think about first law, let's think about second law. All your mind start working in this way. Now second thing, you are able to apply the concept, the formula, the all these things in a right way, that you are going to get the right result. Okay, and thirdly, are you able to do it in the right amount of time? Are you investing the time more than what is to be invested in that question, or there is some another optimized way of solving the question? All these things you have to be answerable. You have to answer yourself in all these things, right? Sir, when I give the mock test, what happens, sir? In a question, I know the concept, I know the formula, but I do the silly mistake. Many students ask me this, sir, how I can control making silly mistakes? Sir, I take some parameter from right to left, I miss the sign of it. Sir, I divide, I just do the wrong division. Sir, I am unable to recall the basic sine theta, cos theta, time theta at times. Okay. Sir, I am unable to use sometimes, like Pythagoras theorem is there, it didn't come into my mind. I take a long path. See, in all these things, cumulatively, mock test is the best way to deal with, right? Okay, so see, first of all, silly mistakes in any particular questions or any particular type of question, there is only one solution to it, is practice. There is no other way. Okay, sir, take the name of this thing in your mind. Okay, think this. Okay, just close your eyes and think. Doesn't going it nothing is going to work. I tell you, only one thing is going to work, that is practice. More you practice, more often you going to your mind is going to tell you, okay, at this point I make a frequent mistake. Be careful at this point, right? Okay, sine theta cos theta, oh, just like this. Okay, so more mistakes you do before the examination, more likely you are to avoid them in the final examination. So mistakes are good, right? Before examination, more mistakes you do before examination, more likely you are not going to do them in the final examination. Are you getting my point? This is what I believe. And see, mock test plays utmost important. It's a they play very important role in your final examination, because they help you understand that many things, whether you are able to recall, whether you are able to do the things in the right time frame, and all this. Okay. Secondly, see, when you are seeing a like typical question of mock test, okay, so you think of, like this shall be the approach, but you stuck somewhere, some concept goes wrong, a part of it goes wrong, so you get an approach also, like this approach we could take to solve this question, right? So mock test is very, very important. So guys, in this session, I wanted to discuss all these points. I think I have completed. So the last point was how many mocks to give and how many to analyze, how to analyze. Okay. So how to analyze that, you have to analyze them on these 3 points as I said. And how many, there is no upper limit. You just give as many as possible, as many you get hands on. Don't wait to complete any particular subject. Okay, sir, I will save the mock test for later. I'll start giving from January. Start tomorrow, start today after this video. Okay, whatever amount of chapter you have done till now, start from there. Okay, okay, so guys, this much I wanted to tell you in this session. So now I'll wait for 1 minute, 2 minutes. So if there is any query, okay, any questions that you want to ask me regarding your preparation, sir, I have completed this much chapter, I'm feeling difficulty in this chapter, anything like that, you can ask me in this session. Okay, sir, I am having this routine. Will this routine is going to work from me? I am here to listen to you. Like whatever you have to say, you can tell me, we can have it discussed. Okay, all the live students. And meanwhile, I'll also, make a request. So all of you, please subscribe the channel. Okay. On this channel, we have, so meanwhile, you'll think if any question is there, I'll just tell you something. So please subscribe the channel. On this channel, we are running physics, biology, and very soon chemistry educator is going to be on board. And afterwards, the chemistries also will be running on this channel. So Harsh sir is taking biology. He's a very good educator. I am taking the physics. Okay. I haven't introduced myself in this session. So my name is Dr. Shankar Sir. This is my name. Okay. And what is my qualification, sir? I am PhD and MTech, Masters of Technology in Mechanical Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. Okay. So from how much time I have been teaching this physics? So I am teaching from last 11 plus years. So I have nearly 11 years of experience in this field. Okay. So this is my name, this is my qualification, this is my experience briefly. Okay, Harsh sir is teaching the biology. He's a very good biology educator, very young, very enthusiastic. Okay, and he's almost taking every day. Okay, so on this channel we are doing two things. Firstly, we are trying to cover your syllabus as early as we can. So in that order, I have completed 3 chapters, near completion of the third chapter is on the way. Okay, I think motion in the plane, 2 topics, 1 topic nearly is left, that is the circular motion, which also I have covered to some extent in the vectors. Afterwards, I'll be starting with Newton's law. Okay, similarly, biology is also running parallelly. Along with it, we are doing this 75 hard day challenge thing also, where we are coming up every day with some questions to help you towards your preparation, because as I emphasize in this particular session that question solving is very important. You need to solve many questions, multiple questions, as many as question as possible through whatever way you get, through the sessions like this that we are doing, through PYQs, through practice books, through mocks, through test series. So whichever way is possible, you have to go by it, you have to do that. Okay, okay. So any questions in the session? I hope you guys have enjoyed the session, and this session you have found informative. It is something that you wanted to know. It helps you in your preparation. So any question is there? So I hope there is no question, and I hope you like this video. So please subscribe the channel, please like the video, please share it to your friends. And with this, thank you very much and wish you all the best for your preparation. And definitely you are going to excel into it if you are going into the right path. Okay, so with this, thank you very much. Have a good day and wish you all the best.